What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an exciting one for you. First edition of our podcasting we're going to be doing here. We got a very special guest. Hope you guys enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to be able to say today we have Brayden Jones. How are you, Brayden?
I'm good. How are you?
Brayden feels weird. I'm just going to keep calling you Jones like normal, man.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
That's fine. That's fine. It's an honor to be here. I've never talked about duck hunting on camera before.
Well, you've got a lot to talk about it, you know. I mean, I know when I transferred down to play baseball, they're like, man, this guy kills them. And I was like, really? And at the time, I had no care in the world about a duck.
Yeah.
But then the more and more I've looked at it, I'm like, man, this is exciting, you know.
Yeah.
So just, you know, I know you. I've heard a ton about you, you know, and then I've obviously met you and, you know, become good buddies with you here recently. But, you know, for the people who don't know, you kind of give your story. You know, who are you? What are you doing?
I'm Brayden Jones. I'm in college for ag business. I'm at UAPB. Went to college to play baseball. It wasn't my cup of tea, to say the least. And I love hunting. Man, duck hunting is my pride and joy. Always has been. Probably always will be. Picked up turkey hunting here recently. Deer hunted a few times. Killed one big deer, but there's nothing quite like shooting a mallard. I mean, there's just really not. I was raised doing it. I was brought up, cut my teeth in the woods, down at the scatters, and it's just been an everyday thing, really.
Exactly. That's kind of what
even in the off season.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting to that way now. I'm still, you know, new to it, and I'm starting to have that. Where before it was like, man, summertime I loved it, but now I'm like, dude, I'm ready to get in the woods. I'm ready to go see birds flying. I'm ready to call at them. I'm ready to do all this. I'm really starting to get to that point where I'm starting to get mad at them. You know, I'm having that itch.
Yeah.
So where did it start for you? Because obviously I'm 18. I started duck hunting when I was 17.
Right.
So for you, you know, what's your kind of story coming up with it?
My first time I ever went hunting, I was in knee boots. I was too small to even fit waders. My dad carried me in on his shoulders, on his back, you know, all the way in the woods, and I just remember being a kid sitting on the log like this, like watching ducks fall all around me. And it was my family, friends, you know, growing up. We used to have a big group that went all the time, and I wasn't even shooting a gun yet, but I just was a part of it.
Right.
And they used to slaughter them. I mean, anytime you went, no matter how many people you take, you kill that many limits. I mean, that's how it was growing up. And that was probably till I was 7, 8 years old. Then I started shooting my own gun. Shot a few. I probably shot 5 or 6 ducks a year, maybe. Then I started calling ducks around 10 or 11, and I really just took off with it. My cousin, Brayden Jones, a lot of people that duck hunt in Arkansas know him. A lot of people don't, but he's like one of the best to do it, and I'm blessed to be able to learn from him. And matter of fact, people ask me about my calling all the time, but they never what am I trying to say? I always tell them I wasn't even taught like you have to do this and then this and then this. I just watched. That's how I learned. Watching Jeffrey, being on the same tree as him for years and years. That's how I learned. He never taught me like verbally a single thing about duck calling. I learned it all from him, and then started manipulating it on my own. And I just found something that worked.
Yeah, so. I'm definitely the same way when it comes to deer for me. Obviously, I don't really have a mentor when it comes to duck hunting. There's no one I specifically go with every time. But for deer, my cousin Will, man, he tears them up. And I fell in love with bow hunting because of him. Fell in love with public land and like stuff that, you know, I sat in a box stand for the first 15 years of my life with a rifle waiting on something to walk out maybe. Yeah. You know, but then when I get out there, he's like, hey, you see that sign, that's consistent. We need to be here and stuff like that. And, you know, there's stuff where I've been out with different people, and it's like, I don't know how to explain why I'm doing this, but I know I've seen it work, and I've seen the deer, him say they're doing this, and if you sit right here, they're going to do it. You know, he's like, man, that's a daytime scrape because I have pictures of him walking down this way, going south during the evening, you know. And then I sit there, and the next morning, there comes a deer. I'm like, man, it definitely helps to have a mentor like that. And I would say, for me, as someone who's trying to learn how to call, which you've been along for that as of right now and heard where I sound like I had a kazoo in my mouth. Yeah. But I would definitely much rather prefer sitting by a tree listening to someone else blow a call and be like, that's what I need to be doing. Right. And I'll have you send me videos.
Seeing it, you know, in person, in the moment. You know, blowing duck calls in the backyard and blowing duck calls in the woods, two totally different two totally different things for sure.
I feel like I learned 10 times faster from sitting by a tree and being like, that duck just flew by and he went, wah, wah, wah. And I'm like, can I get mine that slow and that drawn out, And learning from the bird itself helps a ton.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey was a big help for you.
Man, if it wasn't for Jeffrey, I don't know where I'd be. Duck hunting, life, baseball, girls, no matter what it is, Jeffrey taught me it all. My Uncle Randy, which is his dad, and my Pepaw taught me a lot too, but Jeffrey kind of took me under his wing. He was probably 16 years old. He went to Woodlawn. He graduated from Woodlawn. Played baseball for Coach Tommy and all that. But he just started letting me tag along, and I'm forever grateful because now I get to I don't really take him, but now I go run the holes and he hunts with me more so than me hunt with him.
Right.
It's kind of cool, like a full circle moment. But yeah, about the calling thing, my biggest, I guess, I don't know how to say it. My biggest thing with calling is everybody wants to sound really good, and you can have people that sound really good in the backyard blowing a duck call and can competition call or maybe even sound ducky, but if you can't work a duck, it don't even matter. If you don't know what to do, when to do it, then you're pretty much out of luck. There's a lot of people that I've helped learn how to blow a duck call, and they can blow it really good and sound ducky, but they can't work a duck to save their life because they don't want to watch and listen. If you want to be good at working ducks, you have to watch and listen before you ever try to call them.
For sure. And that's something I'm excited to really last year it was I blow at them to get attention, and then I would stop it because I know I'm not good enough to work a duck. If they're out far enough and I want them to know, hey, I've got stuff here, then I'm relying on a jerk rig pretty much, But I'm excited this year to be like, man, to work really just kind of grind it. When am I loud? When am I quiet?
Yeah.
When am I, feeding and, telling them, hey, there's space down here. When am I, hey, come back. I'm really excited to kind of be able to learn, and especially, if we share a couple holes this year, I'm excited to, hear how you do it and be like, man, that's not what I've heard. That's not what I thought, and when to get quiet because I've got a little trouble getting quiet sometimes. So I'm excited to learn to do that for sure.
It's a good problem to have though. I love people that want to learn. I've hunted with many, many, many people that can't really blow a duck call, and I try to help them, and if they don't want to listen or don't want to get better, then I can't hunt with them. I'd rather take somebody who can't call and wants to learn than somebody who can call and don't want to learn.
Exactly.
All day. And that's in anything really. Coaching baseball, I'd rather take a kid that's not very good but is willing to learn and wants to be coachable and listen. That's just how it is. But
effort and coachability definitely are two things that I really respect, just because I feel like you can do really anything with those.
Yeah, that's what I love about baseball. I played it for 16, 17 years, something like that, 16 years, I don't know. Not a very long time compared to some, but I learned enough to baseball is one of those sports you can relate to literally anything in life, any aspect, golf and ducks being my main thing. I love golf and I love duck hunting. So I learned a lot about patience and wanting to be coachable and willing to learn and being okay with failing for sure. Baseball helps with that a lot, but same thing with ducks, man. You're going to fail 100%. Yeah. You're not going to go out there and kill them every time. But
what are some of your bigger moments you were like, dang, I bombed this when it came to hunting?
Oh, it happens a couple times a hunt sometimes. Whether, let's say you got a group of 20 working the trees, and what if there's 10 over here and 20 over here, and my buddy's calling at these real soft, and I'm calling at those soft, and there's some over our head, and I wail on them. There's so many different things that can go wrong at once. If you have that group of 20 fixing a light, but you don't see them and you start getting loud on your call, they'll back out immediately and never come back.
Right.
There's been times where we call a shot too early. They make 7 passes and we're like, okay, as soon as they dip the trees, we got to knock them down or we're not going to kill them. And that last little time, we're like, one more pass. And that one more pass, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. I've been beat to holes before. I've been, but a lot of times, the past couple of years, you'll have people come in and set up right next to you, and they just ruin a hunt alone by doing that and wanting to cuss and holler through the woods. And there's so many factors that can mess up a hunt. There's really no perfect hunt. The most perfect hunt I've ever been on is it's just me and my cousin Jeffrey, and it's completely unplanned. Like 11 o'clock, we'll be like, you want to go hunting? Sure. We'll go out, shoot our 8 in 10 minutes, and then be done. So you got to be okay with, a lot of people, you got to be okay with failing. A lot of people want to get out there and they don't have the most perfect spread and perfect guys and perfect calls and perfect guns, then they don't want to, they think it's a bad hunt. I mean, I can go out there and have 3 decoys and it be a sunny, cool morning and not kill anything. I'm going to call it a great time because it's hard to beat.
Right.
You know, a sunrise in the woods with your boys. There's not much better than that.
Yeah. So I want to talk about these woods a little bit because when I'm starting this, I want to hunt a little bit of timber. I want to work a little bit of field. I want to work a little bit of river. I've had my most success on the river. Just especially during those freezes, man, you get so many different types of birds. I love that.
Yeah.
But man, mallards and timber, it's an Arkansas staple. You know, there's plenty of license plate covers out there.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the timber, you obviously you've been known to tear up Biomeda.
Some would say that.
Many
people
amount.
wouldn't, but some people would.
So I think they would. From what I've heard, and you can tell me about this, I want to know about Brayden Jones, the hole runner, the one, because I remember sitting, me and our buddy say, you know, we had a morning where we saw a bunch, we didn't kill anything. We were surrounded by groups 50 yards everywhere around us. We walked in, and it was just, fun time, but didn't kill anything. We go to eat tropical smoothie afterwards, and someone's like, man, where y'all from? We told him we were around the area. And he's like, you know Brayden Jones? I was like, yeah, I know him. He's like, yeah, man. And it's just stories, beat me to my hole or this or that. And I've been people that didn't know I knew you and heard names in parking lots and stuff like that. So what's this whole Brayden Jones, the hole runner, going on?
I guess there's different parts to that question. Are you asking like, when did I start hole running, or what? Why do I take it so seriously?
I'd like to know the history on it. I want to know what it is to you.
What it is to
why
me.
You love it, all of it.
Okay, what it is to me. It is the most important part. If you know where the ducks are at and you're wanting to kill them, it is the most important part, is to have a good hole runner. And I'm just one of those guys that if it's not me doing it on my feet, or if it's not Jeffrey doing it in a boat, I don't trust him. There's been several people run with me, but I'm never going to be like, you can just do it on your own. I trust you. It's not that I don't trust, my buddy Peyton Musgrove. He's another one of those guys. He just gets after it. He can run. Boy, he can run. And he's got the want to, but anyways, try not to get off track. If we're going to a hole in Biomeda and we're running it on foot, e-bike, whatever, I'm not going to be like, Peyton, you got it. Like, it's a combined effort. We're doing everything we can to get where we want to be. And there's so many people nowadays. I say nowadays like I'm an old man that's been hunting for 40 years, but I was raised with guys that do it right. And that's who I hunted with all the time anyways. And I just know that nowadays there's a bunch of people that want to kind of give 50% and get in by the skin of their teeth and just want to throw a fit instead of just actually earning it. And I like to leave no room for question. I like to leave no room for anybody to argue about who was there first. I just want to be there, first. And there were several times this past year, being a low water year, everybody's just secluded to one spot, because there's no water anywhere. There's going to be a lot of fighting. There's going to be a lot of arguing. You got to be on it. If you're not wanting to run, then don't run. You know what I mean? It's any man's game, or whatever that saying is. But
I need you to explain it to me, because I get, when the times that I have tried to get in there quickly, when me and Tate went that day, I've only been up in Biomeda probably 3 or 4 times. And it's either been, there's nobody there, which is not a very common occurrence. We got there late.
Yeah.
We're putting in at like 5:30.
Yeah.
Or it's been just walking in, and that's what it is. I'm behind.
Yeah.
So you're getting there, because gates open at 4. What time are you getting there?
It depends. If we're running in, walking in, I'll get there in between 3:30, 3:45. Enough time to just get my stuff out and get mentally ready to, beat everyone.
Yeah.
But if we're motoring in, I mean, it's nowadays, if you want to get, like, if people know there's ducks in this one area and it's more than, 5 or 6 people, there's going to be 50. The thing with duck hunting is if one person hears about it, that's 10. If 10, then it's 1,000. I mean, with boating, like, you got to be there at 2 a.m. put in. It's going to be a long line. You got to get there, and it sucks. It really does. You get no sleep, but it's worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
But with running in, like this one place by me that we hunted a lot, we hunted it probably 2 weeks straight, and I was there at 3:30, 3:45, just enough time to get my e-bike out, get on it, and get ready. Because I've got a camp. Whenever we hunt by me, I've got a camp 15 minutes from it. So I just throw the waders on, throw my gun on, and get it ready and all that at the camp. But
the e-bike's a new addition to this year, isn't it, for you?
Past 2 years has been a big deal. They really never were popular, I guess. But this past year was huge. Like I said, low water year. You can get a lot further to holes because what usually has water didn't this year. It's all dry. I mean, it was just a massacre. There were several times that we've had e-bike wrecks. People get ran over. I mean, it's dangerous, but if you're just first in line and everybody's behind you, you ain't really got to worry about that. That's my main goal. There was one time, this guy from Sheridan, actually, I don't want to mention his name, but he's talking a lot of crap. He was first in line at the gate, first in line with the e-bike. I said, you know what, you got it. Well, he had this pretty little mount on his handlebars with his phone, with his Onyx pulled up and stuff, and he was looking for the time, and he had gloves on. And I just go off of what everybody says around me, whatever time. I don't have nothing but my light and my hands on my bike. But this guy was trying to get his phone on and couldn't get it turned on, swiped up, Face ID and all that. About that time, 4 o'clock hit, and he wasn't moving. He didn't know it was 4 o'clock. So I just knocked him over, kind of squeezing through the gate and got out, and he got about 20 yards behind me, and his chain sprocket fell off his bike. And yeah, needless to say, he's got beef with me, but you're talking crap and couldn't back it up. That's not on me.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
And we got in there, shot our ducks. He went home that day, and he let me know about it. I got text on Facebook and Instagram and messages. He got my number somehow. It's stuff like that I find funny. Some people take it so serious, like if you weren't talking crap, I would have, helped you out probably. But since you want to be a big guy and, you want to act like you can handle yourself, prove it.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I try not to talk crap. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it slips out. But I like to get to the boat ramp and keep my face down and get after it. Cause
I know from what you've shown me in the last couple of years, it's been I think I called you one day talking about a hole, and I was like, hey, I know you know the area. Do you have any pins that you don't plan on going to at all? And you're like, yeah. And you start sending me pins. I'm like, is this not like when it comes to deer, I don't send my pins. I don't just open my Onyx app around anybody. Now, are they going to go there or not? I have no idea. But some of the spots, it's so tight. I mean, you put 200s up in there. Now, if I'm going to, White River Refuge, it's, tens of thousands of acres. You can go wherever you want up in there. I don't care.
Yeah.
There are some of these spots that are so small, which it's similar to a duck hole. It's like, man, you get 1 or 2 people in there, it's over. I mean, that hunting's done. But you start sending me all these pins, and I was like, he just doesn't care, I guess. And then I think you texted me. You said, here's the deal. If I want that hole, I'm going to have that hole.
Right.
It wasn't a cocky, showboating, but it was just an honest statement. You said,
That's
here's
an
the
honest
deal.
thing, yeah.
If I want that hole that morning, I'll be there, and you'll see me there when you walk in.
There's a select few guys that I'll send stuff to, but, I'm not worried about sending it to them because if I know there's ducks there, then I'm going to be there.
Exactly.
There's no questions asked. And I hate it. Duck hunting, I lose a lot of friends during duck season. Main reason being, a lot of people will not text me all summer, all spring. About October, November rolls around, they start hitting my line talking about let's hang out.
Hey man, what you want to do? Stuff like that.
That don't fly, man. That's fake to me, and I can't do fake. But I've had to cut some people off, whether there's ducks over here and I'm talking about going over here, all the time, and they want to stay here, which that's fine, but I'm just going to have to, dip out and go wherever I want to go to kill ducks. That's my favorite thing in the world to do. I'm going to do anything to make it happen. And I lost a good hunting buddy one year because of that. He wanted to stand by me to and I wanted to go down the cutoff and hunt. He didn't, so I started going down there. Got a group, went down there, and the thing is, once you kill ducks with one group, you don't really just add a bunch of people or take a bunch of people out.
That's your group.
That's your ride or dies. And I hate it. He's a good buddy of mine. We still talk sometimes, but that's just the way duck season is. We still get along, but if you don't want to move, you don't want to be flexible, then that's what happens. But
yeah.
It happens. It's happened all my life. There's been people come and go that a lot of times people will leave because they don't want to grind it out either.
Mm-hmm.
This past year, which I'm in college, so I'm blessed that I get to hunt a lot.
Right.
Need my water. But this past year I hunted 52 out of 60 days.
Holy cow.
And that's a lot.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And we didn't murder them or anything,
Well, go ahead. You didn't murder them. How many, I know you keep kind of a track. How many did you kill this year?
We ended with 1,327 this year. That's just hunts I was on, hunts. I don't know how many I killed personally, but
1,327.
the pictures I've taken with ducks at the end of the hunt was over 1,000, yeah.
But you didn't murder them, by all means. You didn't.
563 of those was in 1 week, which was the freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not very good. That was the last week of season. I think it was January 22nd, 23rd, something like that. It started freezing up.
Yeah.
We shot over 500, that week. So all that to say, at January 22nd, we only had 600.
Like, as someone who's getting into it, we killed under 100 birds this year.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is fun. This is
But
insane.
you also just started hunting last year.
Exactly.
Learning on your own. You
Right.
got to give yourself some grace.
It definitely.
I started whenever I was dang near in diapers.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Whenever I was fresh out of diapers, I started going duck hunting. I've been around it my whole life, and I learned with other people. I've been around some really, really good duck hunters over the years.
Yeah.
So, if I started whenever I was 17 with no guidance, I'd be the same way.
And that's it's fun to me because I have a hard time admitting it, but I've got a pretty large ego internally.
Yeah.
I try to be pretty humble on the outside, but I want to be really good at stuff and I want to win and I want to be the best at whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
I haven't picked up my golf clubs. They're over there in the attic somewhere, and I haven't picked them up in a year and a half because I went to the range 3 times in a week last summer and didn't hit good. And I was like, I'm not going to get better at this. This is making me mad. I'm done.
Right.
But there's something about a waterfowl flying by your face, and it's one of the most exciting things I've done. And
it's pretty exciting, yeah.
I love bow hunting. Bow hunting's really challenging. I like doing stuff that's challenging, and it seems to be the next thing for me that I'm really wanting to get into heavily. And I'm like, I can see me, doing this for a long time.
Long time, yeah. I'm with you. It does take some hard work and dedication. There's a lot of people that I'll take, like my cousin Jeffrey. He's grown, just had his second baby boy about a little over a month ago, maybe 2. I'm not quite sure, but all that to say, he's a grown man, got 2 kids. He don't get to hunt and scout and do all the hard work anymore. So I think he hunted 15 times all year, but half of those were good hunts because I go find the ducks, I take him, he gets to hunt.
Yeah.
I guess that's not really lucky, but I'm lucky to have him. He taught me everything that he did, so whenever he had kids, he could, come around whenever he needs to, whenever he can.
Yeah.
Because I would do anything for him, but I kind of forgot where I was going with that. I really don't know.
I'm still just shocked on 52 days. 52 out of 60 is insane. How'd you pull it off with college? I know you have a decent amount of a winter break, obviously, but
so I had this past year, I had my schedule lined out where I can hunt every morning. I had class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every class started at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to, I could hunt all 7 days, every week. But the majority, the first split, as soon as first split opens that Saturday, that Friday, the day before, is the last day of school for Thanksgiving break, fall break, whatever they call it. And that whole week I'm out, so that's 10 days right there I can guarantee hunt. And then I have maybe a week of school and then Christmas break, and you have all Christmas break to hunt till January 6th, January 8th, something like that.
There, yeah.
And then January is the grind month. January is whenever everybody's giving up, everybody's tired, but the ducks are here. Everybody starts picking up the last week of duck season every year, but January 2nd to I'd say about January 20th is usually the prime time. That's always been my best luck because the ducks are usually fresh. We get a good cold front, and there's not as many people in the woods. That's whenever you got to get after it. It's those days that you don't want to wake up, you're tired, but you go do it anyways. It pays off.
Yeah.
I've learned that I've missed out on many good hunts because I decided to sleep in, or was too lazy, or whatever. Like, I've missed out. There's been several times my cousin will send me a picture of 40 hanging on a tree, and I'm laying in bed, beating my head against the wall. So I kind of learned from that. I'd tell myself there's only 60 days out of 365 that you get to do what you love doing the most.
Right.
Duck season feels like a year-long thing, but really it's only 60 days. And for most, I'd say 90% of people only hunt half a season, 30 days out of 60.
Right.
So really, statistically, I guess you could say around 30, 35, 40 days to get it done. So you got to get after it if you really love it. If you don't love it, by all means,
hunt when you want
sleep
to.
Sleep on the couch.
Right.
But, I've messed up way too many times doing that. And it still happens, from time to time. I think I slept in 3 or 4 times this past year, but it happens to everybody.
Right.
But having a camp definitely helps. I've always had a camp. I grew up and at Long Bell. There's a camp called the Blue Moon. If anybody that watches this has been to Long Bell, they know what Blue Moon is. It's been there since the 90s. And I grew up there. My uncle built a camp right next to it. Grew up there back and forth, a bunch of family friends down there, some good people. And that's just where I cut my teeth, was running around in knee boots and my diaper, at the camp. So that makes it a lot easier having somewhere to stay like that as opposed to driving an hour and a half. I can drive 5 minutes.
Right.
So that's a blessing, to say the least. But
yeah, because for me to get there and be anywhere in probably the top 10 in line, I'm looking at getting up here at probably about 1:45, 2 o'clock. So that's why the river's such a nice thing for me, because I'm like, man, there's nobody competing with me to go get on this sandbar.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on this sandbar and be the only one there. And I can get there at 3 o'clock in the morning, or I can get there at 5:45. It doesn't matter.
Don't matter. Nobody's
competing against me. If they're competing against me, it's people I know, and they're going to let me sit there and hunt with them because we've been buddies.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I'm not opposed to hunting the river, hunting open water fields, all that. A lot of people that, whether they have enough funds to support a lot of fields to hunt, or if they're just getting older in age and that's all they can do because they love hunting, all they can do is hunt in the field, by all means. But I've hunted fields, I've hunted the river, and there's just nothing like being on a tree in knee-deep water with ducks falling in your face. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like it. And late season, we usually don't. I say usually. We try not to cut them over the trees, early season, unless there's 2 groups beside you that are just ruining everybody's hunt. You got to do what you got to do. Then you have to do what you have to do. But late season, whenever they don't want to work, they don't want to light. I mean, we're not just going to not kill ducks. That's the biggest controversy I think in duck hunting is tree topping and not shooting them unless they're on the water. I mean, that's, like I said, I love seeing them come through the trees, but I also love having a lot of duck meat in the freezer.
Right.
And a bunch of people frown on tree topping because they think it's call them once, let them swing 2 treetops high, and then shoot 50 times and kill 3. It happens from time to time, but the majority of the time we tree top, it's if they're working and working and working and they will not do it, and they're scraping the top of the trees in our hole, or they can't find a way in our hole because of the wind or whatever. I mean, and they're right over the top of our heads. It's lights out,
Yeah.
That's just how it is, and we're not disrespectful about it. We're not, cocky about it. That's just one of those things. You got to do what you got to do when you need to do it.
That's something that shocked me when I started kind of, trying to do some research and figure out, what all these ducks are capable of, because I didn't realize they were that smart. But people talk about educating birds, and Yeah, well, I've got a group of, or just being still before early light, they don't see you, or, not shooting into a group of 70 sometimes, just like educating those birds for somebody else. And I guess I've never thought about how important it is when those new birds come in with the freeze.
Yeah.
Because they haven't seen you and seen your spinner and seen your dog sitting there off of its spot,
Yeah.
running around a hole.
New birds are definitely will put a smile on a duck hunter's face. You kill after a cold front, you go out there and it's, you're freezing your butt off and the wind's chopping you in half. But you kill that first group, 5 or 6, and they all have really bright orange feet. For the next 2 weeks, it's on. I'm fixing to hunt every day because we just got fresh ducks, and as long as they're here, we're going to kill them.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
One battery dying later, we're back. But
and some hydration. That was
that's right.
Much needed.
Man, so tell me this. I talked about Biomeda. You've been there, you love it. But obviously there were some videos circulating between last year and this year. And I was like, dang, I'm sitting here on the couch with my dad. I'm like, dude, these guys are crazy about a dadgum bird. It's like a pound of meat. What are they so worried about? And I'm watching guys, videos that have tens of thousands of views.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing them say, go. And it's pitch black in the woods. And I see a couple guys running off. And then I see a guy on a horse. And then I see guys on e-bikes. And I'm like, what is going on right now? And then a few months later, I realized, okay, well, there's Brayden Jones in the start of that video. And then I was scrolling, okay, well, there he is in the start of that one. So that's kind of so while you biked in the Biomeda, you were sprinting into cutoff more often, right?
Right. We biked in the cutoff too. The thing with cutoff is, cutoff, not this past season, but the season before, put a lot on the map. People put cutoff on the map. People put e-bikes on the map. People put horses on the map. Excuse me. It's a lot of stuff just kind of got put into play that year. And my whole life I've been boat racing and foot racing. That's it. Mainly boat racing and Biomeda. But whenever cutoff got it, you can boat in the cutoff, but it's only one side of it. You still got the rest of the woods to hunt, and the majority of the woods is walk-in, access. You got the e-bikes with the legal, voltage of the battery.
Right.
It can't be too
Isn't
big.
it 750 or something like that?
I couldn't tell you the legality, but the horses came into play, and it's just a mess. There's a bunch of stuff that I've never seen before. It's something you see in a movie or something that, whenever I'm playing trucks growing up with my brother, let's race horses to kill ducks. That was happening in real life.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies from Hamburg, Devin Ross, he actually got ran over by a horse this past year.
Holy cow.
He got put in the hospital. If he ever was to watch this, he can hear me say it. I think he milked it a little bit. He milked it. But he did get ran over by a horse going to kill a pound of meat, like you said.
That is insane to me.
Yeah.
So, and let me ask this. What is the feeling like? Because I've never experienced it, and I cannot say that I probably ever will. There's a good chance. What is the feeling like to be front of the line? And I'm guessing you were in tennis shoes at the time?
Yeah, I've ran in tennis shoes, ran in waders, ran in boots.
Either way, on
Hey
foot.
Dudes, I ran in Hey Dudes.
Holy cow. So either way, you've got a light in your hand, I'm guessing.
Headlight, for sure.
So you had a headlight.
And a spotlight.
Headlight and spotlight.
Yep.
And you're in the front of the line. What does it feel like to be like, you hear go, and you're running as fast, which you were pretty quick on a baseball field.
Yeah.
So you're giving it all you've got, running into the woods. It's pitch black out there, other than what you got with your light. And you hear a horse and an electric bike behind you. What is that feeling like?
First of all, you can't hear the e-bike. The electric bike, dead silent.
You hear them when they go by, right?
You can hear the sound of the wheels on the ground. That's all you hear. But you kind of know, I guess, like an e-bike, you kind of expect the e-bike to pass you. You can envision it, just hearing wheels pass. But hearing behind you and a horse breathing, I really can't put that feeling into words. I've never been passed by a horse, because if I ever was lined up beside a horse, I let them go first because it's not even close.
Yeah.
But I have been this past year. There's a video floating around somewhere. I think there's 10 different angles of it, but it was a few of my buddies that I wasn't hunting with. I just know them on e-bikes, and then a horse and then me and my hunting partner on the right side of the horse. And I was on my e-bike, which is not a short bike, standing here like this, and I look to my left, and there's a horse like this much taller than me. I mean, you talk about heart palpitation. Like, my heart was beating out of my chest through 3 jackets and waders. That was a feeling like no other. That was one of those moments I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, I questioned, if it's ever e-bike versus e-bike, foot on foot, I usually don't worry. But racing a horse, that was it was scary to say the least. But
that's one of those times you're okay being beaten there because it's
100%. I'm not even going to try to fight a horse.
Yeah.
No way. But it was funny that one morning that actually the Devon guy, he was on the other side of the horse, and he was poking the horse in the butt. And I don't know, if you know this, most people do, but you just don't stand behind a horse.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just obvious, right?
Yeah.
Well, Devon was poking the horse in the left side, and I'm on the right side of it, and that horse kept on turning around, and the rear end was in my face probably 3 or 4 times before 4 o'clock. And I couldn't move. I'd lose my spot in line. So I was just sitting here praying that horse would not kick me.
Please don't kick me.
Because he was doing it on purpose, messing with me. Like, get over there, kick him, whatever. That was not a good feeling. We didn't get beat. We were going to 2 separate holes that morning. But they got their hole, we got ours on past it. But I guess to answer your question, the feeling is adrenaline. Whenever you step up, even let's take the horses and e-bikes out of it. Whenever it's 3:59 and you're on your home screen watching the clock, you know how it spins. That's how I watch. I see that little red line going around. That last 10 seconds is the most adrenaline it beats. I've killed a 130-inch deer. Isn't the biggest, but I had my heart pounding.
Yeah.
More than that, more than being in the state championship, in baseball, big moment. More than those moments. It doesn't beat turkey hunting. Turkey hunting is above all, hearing one spitting and drumming at 20 steps. But if I could sum it up into one word, it's adrenaline. And whenever you take off, you don't really remember your tunnel vision.
Yeah.
If you're not tunnel vision, you get beat. That's the biggest thing, I guess, that I had to learn. I've gotten beat. Whenever I first started, I got beat a lot, and I had to learn how to win.
Yeah.
And that's having tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm. So you'd say one of your favorite parts of it, if you had to choose over, I don't know how to word this, but is it more fun to you to come out of there and just whoop everybody in a race, or to kill more ducks than all of them?
Which one do I like more out of those two?
Yeah. Like if you know that you just absolutely whooped this guy in the race, but when you come back to the truck, he's got a fatter strap.
I feel like those kind of go hand in hand. That's I get where you're coming from, but those kind of like are the same.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to ego, I guess. But I'll put it to you like this: whenever it comes to racing in the mornings or seeing ducks come through the trees and having a pile on the log, I would say right now, being in, I'm in my 20s, early 20s.
Still pretty mad at him.
I would say I like racing the most.
Yeah.
Racing is better than the ducks falling through the trees, just because I like the adrenaline.
Right.
It's not even about the beating people, which is a nice chip to have on your shoulder. I've been to several parking lots, and this past year, and by me to just a quick story, we pull up and I go talk to these guys, and I'm like, hey, how are y'all doing? I don't know these guys from Adam, they're from Warren. And he's like, hey, what hole y'all going to? I said, hole A, whatever. And he's told his buddies, he said, hey, we got to go somewhere else, we're not getting it. And I was like, he said, you're Brayden from UAM. And I said, yeah. He said, are you over there with Peyton and Colton and all them? I said, yeah. He said, yeah, boys, we're not getting it. I mean, having that feeling is pretty nice.
That's sweet.
Because they're not even going to compete. They know they can't win. Well, that's pretty cool. I feel a little bit bad because I sound cocky whenever I say that, but I mean, we earned it.
Exactly.
You don't get that
done
name.
What it takes to get to where they had that
You
reputation.
don't get that level of respect by not running holes. You earn it, and we've done it enough times. Like I said, we earned it.
The closest thing I can think of to that, my uncle, he just actually lived right over here. He passed a while back, but he would go to local fishing tournaments all the time. And that dude could tear up a bass. And it would be, he got so good at it and he got so known around the area for it. where he would show up, it'd be like a Tuesday afternoon tournament. Somebody get off work, they go fish. He'd show up. There were guys who would, no joke, see him pull up. And it wasn't like he had a flashy boat or a flashy truck. He had, a standard Sierra and stuff like that. He'd pull up, and they would see his boat and see him get out of the truck, and they would literally pay their entry fee and go home.
Really?
That's what they would do because they were like, I have no chance.
That's what I'm saying. You want to compete, and you either want to step up and be big dog, or you want to be like, I can't do it. And a lot of people are like, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm appreciative of the people that do want to step up, want to race, because it's fun. That's what makes racing is other people, all competing.
I would love it if in 4 or 5 years, we're both obviously in different phases of our life, but you get to a hole and I'm standing there, which is probably never going to happen until you take it. You're like, man, I'm going to take it easy today, and you've told me you're going to take it easy, and I'm on the inside knowing it, and I'm going to be standing there with my flashlight grinning ear to ear waiting for me to get there so we can hunt together. But yeah, so what would you say is more enjoyable to you, cutoff or Biomeda?
Biomeda, solely because that's where I grew up. That's where I learned everything. That's where my camp is. That's where I hang out. That's where everything happens. That's my pride and joy is killing ducks in Biomeda. Now, which one's easier? I would say cutoff.
Yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of people, this can really open up a big conversation here, but whenever ducks are in the area and they're not leaving the area, anyone can kill ducks. Like, people call us killers, and I'm not anywhere near the best, but there's a lot of other, I would say my age maybe, there's not many guys my age doing it like we do, but there's a lot of older guys I respect that I would call killers. But in cutoff, whenever there's ducks, there's ducks. I mean, you see some absolute rejects going into cutoff and coming out with 10 limits. That's just because the ducks down there are stupid. They have Carmichael surrounded it, and corn, and the ducks down there are begging to die. If you're in the right spot at the right time, it don't matter. You could have an old J-frame that sounds like a kazoo, and you're going to kill them. That's just how it is. Biomeda, different story. Now, there's a few guys in Biomeda that are not going to nonstop kill them. They're just, it's a group of old guys. I'm not going to mention them, but they just, anytime they hunt, they're going to kill them. They probably hunt 30, 40 days out of the year. You
think that's just being there for so long?
Being there for so long, knowing how they work.
Walking in the backyard for them.
And they have a team that is unbeatable. I mean, they have the gator tails, the outboards. They have the guys that have been calling together for 30 years. They just have that chemistry, and that plays a big part in it. But
I've never thought about calling together as being a big thing, just because it makes sense.
It's just like a baseball team.
I was about to say the exact same thing. If you think about it, I remember playing on travel teams, and we were always like the team that got put together 2 weeks before season or a month before season.
Yeah,
and it's like, hey guys, y'all lost by 7 this game, but hey, it's okay. Those guys have been playing together since they were 9, and we're like in like 14 or 16. You're like, dude, what?
Yeah.
I mean, so that makes sense in having that team chemistry, and hey, he knows when to call and he doesn't.
And you got to have that level of respect. Like, there's always going to be your main guy in a group. But the thing is, like, that's kind of one of those unwritten rules of baseball. Like, you don't talk about who your main guy is. If you treat your main guy, like, if you treat everybody like y'all are all equal, and y'all all talk like you're equal, and you call like you're equal, and you just go by that as a team, and duck hunt specifically, you're going to have a lot more success than somebody that favors one person, or you have one guy that thinks he's better than everybody.
Right.
That usually don't fly, because people just get mad. They don't want to be there, and they lose focus. I'm a big guy on focus. Like, if we're hunting, I got my crew, we're focused, we're out here having a good time, but whenever there's ducks flying, you got to stay locked in, if you want to kill them. If we want to go out there and shoot the bull and talk about, life and stuff, that's all great. I'm not down in that at all.
Right.
But whenever you want to go learn and you want to go kill ducks, you got to stay locked in at all times. Like, you only get so many fly by you between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m.,
Yeah.
You got to capitalize on every chance you can get.
So you talked about the old J-frame. I don't know if that was a diss on J-frames or not, because I'm starting to kind of turn into more of a J-frame guy. But talk to me about these calls you got over here. So
I wouldn't say it's a diss. I mean, that's what I grew up learning how to blow a duck call on, but which one? first.
Just give me a rundown on both of them, man. Because I'm like a two calls per lane, or maybe three, but you seem to have two.
So I'm a one call. I'm a one call guy. I never take these and use them at the same time. I guess you just want me to touch base on
touch
how
base.
I feel.
Tell me when you're using them, why you're using which ones.
So this Mondo, it's original DC Mondo. It's the Bones model. They stopped making them in 2013. I don't know how many they made, but they're on the rare side. Not many people have them. They go for a lot of money, and I will never get rid of this call. I don't care if they're worth $2,000 one day. I'm not. This is just my baby. I've manipulated this call in any way that I can. Like whatever call this sound can make, I've learned how to make it, and it worked. So this is my go-to for sure. It's just as loud as I want it to be. It sounds just like a duck at a distance. It's one of those that's really loud. I'm not going to blow it, obviously, but it's so loud. Me and you, it sounds just like a rip of a piece of paper, or something like. I don't really know how to explain it. Don't sound like a duck right here.
Right.
But if you go 30, 40, 50 yards away, there's not much that sounds more like a duck. It's just one of those. This thing is not going to blow good in a field. This thing's made to be barky and quick and choppy because it bounces off of trees. And the further you are, the more ducks it sounds like. That's just the way it's made. If you blow it in a field, it's like you're pissing in the wind. I mean, it just don't really go nowhere. It has nothing to bounce off of and feed off of. I grew up, like I said, watching Jeffrey blow a call. With this call, I learned so much. Like, I guess we can give like a lesson, I guess. A lot of people want to say, and I think Dr. Duck talked about this in a podcast past couple of years. I don't really remember when, but it's just science. Like, everybody wants to look at ducks whenever they're flying over. You're trying to get their attention, and they're flying over you, right? You want to keep blowing at them. That's great, but as soon as you circle them and they fly over you again, they still haven't found you yet. I've hunted with guys that think they know what they're doing, and they just want to follow the duck with the call the whole time. Well, think about it. If I'm facing you blowing a duck call, it sounds like I'm right there or past you, right? But if I turn this way and blow it away from you, where does it sound like I'm at?
Back that
over
way.
there, right? So, like, let's say there's ducks working the trees, and they don't know exactly where I'm at. They fly over. I'm not fixing to hit them with a comeback call at them, because they're going to keep chasing that call that way. This call feeds through the water, feeds through the trees. They're just going to keep chasing that call until finally they're like, nothing's over here, I'll turn around. Or they get 50 yards away and you hit the water facing the other way and it sounds like you're 50 yards that way, they instantly turn around. You know what I mean? They hear you're a long ways away. Ducks can hear really good. If they hear you're a long ways the opposite way, they're going to hit a U-turn immediately.
I've never thought about that.
But if you keep blowing straight at them, they're going to keep chasing that sound because it sounds like you're right under them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they bank, turn the opposite way. That's just I've had so much success doing that. People are like, how did you break those ducks? Or how did you get their attention that far away? It's by manipulating the sound. Like turkey hunting, you don't see turkey hunters with a mouth call put their hands in their pockets and call, right? If the turkey's over here, they're going to angle their hand whichever way they need to. That's just sound manipulating.
And that seems like a crazy thing to think about, is if I have ducks flying that way, I'm going to call it this way until you think about it, really. I think they're over there, I need to get my voice over there and let them know, hey, I'm over here. But in reality, that call is, especially with one that's, that loud like that, it's telling them keep going that way. They're still probably looking under them, hey, there's nothing here, So that's definitely something. And I've got to learn, I like the sound of a cutoff, or a cut down. Sorry, we were talking about spots earlier. I like the sound of a cut down a lot, but I have a hard time blowing them and enjoying them. Obviously, when I'm not in the woods. Yeah. I think for me, I'm really going to have to blow some.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's hard to understand.
Because when I'm in a store calling, I like the sound. I hear that J frame, and I hear just an old raspy him. I'm like, man, I love that. But when a duck is 100 yards away,
that sounds like nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while that sounds like their dog barking right here beside me, and it just sounds
like, that's a great description.
I said, this feels like, it feels like I'm grunting. It feels like, I can hear it. I'm like, wah, wah, wah. I'm like, that sounds terrible. But then when I hear other people call from farther away in the woods, I'm like, that sounds good. That's what I've got to realize. Someone told me recently, they were like, man, the best way to know if your call sounds good, don't listen to it out of your mouth. Listen to it echo off the trees in the yard. So, I'll be here and I'll listen to it there's trees 200 yards that way, 100 yards that way. When I hear it echo there, I'm like, that's a duck.
Yeah, if I ever want to get a good run on my call and see how it sounds, like this Olt, and I haven't blown it since January. My buddy had it. I let him borrow it, and it's been in his house. But I picked it up and blown it in a garage. Sounds good and nice and, echoey. But the truest sound you can get by yourself listening to it is setting your phone up on the bed of your truck or something, walking 50 yards away, and blow in the opposite direction of your phone. Like at my house, I got a yard and a little dip down where the trees are, and I have this big wall of trees. I'm gonna set my phone up behind me and blow into the trees. That's your most true sound of what ducks hear. Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
You can cut all this out, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Thinking about saying like.
Turtle the sow.
All right. So, but last cut, hopefully. Last cut.
Yeah.
Speaking of cut, this cut, Heath Van Landingham. This is the Olt, by the way, if anybody cares watching. I got it for free, actually. Jacob Jacks, he's a guy that lives down in Woodlawn, runs his own power washing company. But anyways, this call messed up on me one year. I split the reed, blew it too much. It happens all the time. I say all the time. It's happened several times before. Lost my cork. Just everything went sideways mid-season.
Yeah.
I needed a call. Call Jacob. I know he collects these. And Olts is like the prized possession. Everybody wants an old, good cut Olt. Old, good cut Olt. He gave this to me, and it's a high dollar call. I mean, I think if you were to buy this call from Heath after he cut it, it'd be no less than $250. I mean, it's a nice call. Anyways, he gave it to me, and I was going to give it back. It was kind of like a loaner while I get this one fixed. I can't just go to Stuttgart mid-season out of nowhere, buy reeds and corks. So he gave me this, and it was right before my birthday. January 26th, which is great. I love having a duck season birthday.
Right.
Phenomenal. He gave me this call. He was like, you know what, keep it, happy birthday. So that was just a fun fact. Anyways, this call is the most ducky sounding call I've ever blown in my life. However Heath cut it, I want to copy it, tone board copy it. I mean, I wish I had 1,000 of these. Anybody that's blown this call has just been like, wow. And it's not just me being decent at calling, it's just, this is an outstanding Olt. I use it in field. This is my field call. I guess open water, marsh, swampy, anything. And I'll blow it in the timber some too if I feel like it. Mm-hmm. Late season, this is real easy. This just takes a lot of air. The Mondo, you got to create your own back pressure and pop it, and it's just a lot after a while. 60 days straight. It's a lot on your lungs.
It's a lot on your lungs, yeah.
But this Olt is really easy to blow. It just takes some finesse, It takes some finesse to get it to sound just like a duck. And I've gotten pretty good at it, but it's not hard to do. I mean, this, I would say, is my favorite call just to blow around, the house, backyard. If I was to competition call, and live duck, whatever, it would be this one for sure. It's just an outstanding call. Outstanding.
So that's your more versatile call.
I can't put into words how much I love both of these calls. Both of these are going to be worth a lot of money one day, I'm sure.
Right.
You don't just get these anywhere, either one of these. And they sound good. A lot of people have a Mondo that don't sound good and an Olt that don't sound good. They're rare, but they don't sound good. I'm blessed to have really rare calls that sound phenomenal. Like these, I will never blow anything else other than these two. As long as they stick with me, I'll be blowing them.
And so that Mondo is more of that's your go-to in the timber.
For sure.
Gotcha.
For sure. Just
because it's so barky and it bounces off those trees.
It gets as loud. I've never had a problem with ducks getting too far away with this call. The wind has been blowing really high, and cut off one year it was blowing 35 miles an hour, and I had this call. That's whenever I was blowing it a lot because there were so many ducks in the woods. You didn't need anything loud. You just needed a feed call and a quack. I was blowing this, but one day the wind was blowing, and I just could not. Ducks couldn't hear you. If they got above the treetop, they couldn't hear you. Pulled this out of my wader bag, and we were breaking ducks left and right. I mean, this call literally cuts through anything, whether it's trees, wind, snow, rain, don't matter. This Mondo can get it done. And I've had a lot of compliments on this one. And even whenever my cousin blew it, he got a lot of compliments. He's cut a lot of reeds like it, gave to his buddies around the Whitehall area. He That's where he's from. But anyways, I'm blessed because I got given both of these calls.
Yeah.
Just
right
out of the kindness of their heart, I guess. But, yep. That's it. That's pretty much it for the duck calls. I try not to be too fancy. I'm not a guy that has a Drake whistle and 17 different double reeds and single reeds, and I just like to keep it simple. I can wear this call on my neck 60 days straight and not ever have any doubts.
Be like, man, I'm missing something right now.
Yeah.
Can you get pretty quiet on it?
It gets quiet. It gets quiet. It goes any way you want it. Now the ult is pretty quiet and it sounds ducky. It don't get super loud and choppy, so it's not going to cut through a bunch of wind. But like I said, the Mondo, man, is just unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's my favorite call. I blew my buddies. I heard it's called a pushing guts.
Pushing guts. Yeah.
Never heard of it. Double reed cut down, but it sounded pretty good. It's just not the same.
Yeah,
I've blown Levy cuts. Those sound really good. I'm a oh my goodness. I'm a big fan of the Levy cuts, but that's just not my cup of tea. My buddy Justin Hipp, really, really good duck hunting buddy of mine, outstanding guy. He blows it like no other. He can run one, I think, better than Drake Levy. Just saying. He's that good. And what other calls? Echoes. Rusty Crazy sounds good on the echo. Real good. There's all different kinds, but this is just what suits me.
Right.
And I've never not had success using them. So
if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Right. That's exactly right.
I'm definitely looking into getting different calls. I've been living with that Rolling Thunder 2-stroke all since I've started hunting. Really, I bought that from Tate, and it's been a great call for me to learn on. I've learned how to use pressure and how when to get quiet, when to get loud, or how to, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and how to have a consistent cadence without one of those just being way off in the blue. I still need to work on some of my volume and staying. After I've started getting quiet, I gotta stay getting quiet, and not have a cadence where I'm here, back up to here. But for the most part, all those are just random. Oh, that's an ugly sound. Those are pretty much gone. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting maybe a new call this weekend at the convention in Memphis, which it's crazy to think about duck hunting in July. But the next closest thing is definitely going to be scouting. So what does your scouting regimen look like?
My scouting regimen, when am I going to start scouting?
When are you going to start, and what does it look like for you?
So right now I'm starting to plan. We've got a plan for opening day already. We've had it since February 1st. We know where the idea, we have a couple of ideas, but I'm not really going to start busting my balls driving all around scouting until a week before, because ducks really aren't even here the first split,
Right,
so ducks definitely aren't going to be here before first split. So I feel like a lot of people waste their time thinking, a lot of newbies to duck hunting want to go scout a month in advance, or go scout every single day the week before season. That's great, but I can wake up, if season opens on Saturday, I can wake up Thursday and Friday morning and go find a raft of ducks, whereas somebody done spent 7 days straight to find the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if scouting is, you got to have an idea of where you want to be. This past year we were kind of in a bind. There was no water, no ducks. It was hot. I'm not gonna lie, I went to the White River, went to Biomeda, went to Cutoff, went everywhere looking for ducks, Cache River and all that, and there was none in the fields, nothing like that. It was a waste of time, waste of gas. I said I'll never do it again. So I would say preseason, I don't have a schedule, not really a regimen, no agenda for scouting. Maybe a couple days before I'll go start getting serious about it.
It's different for, I feel like, deer and for duck, and I'm trying to learn that, because I'm
deer. I'm patterning deer right now.
Yeah, I'm starting to. My cameras, obviously, there's a couple different permit hunts that I'm getting ready for, and first day you can put out cameras on these is in a week, and I'm getting ready. I'm getting everything charged up, ready to go, and I'll start August, get ready for September. But it's definitely different with ducks, and honestly, with how it looked this past year, with how dry it was, and how there was no birds the first split, honestly, some of your best scouting is probably going to be during the split when you can't hunt, there going into the second one.
Oh, yeah. We'll do a lot of scouting. So in between, like I said, preseason, before the end of November, little to no scouting on my end anyways. A lot of people are different. Dr. Duck, he would tell you something different. He's scouting hard, different states, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance. But anyways, between second split, or in between like the first split, the end of November and around midway through December, that second split opens in Arkansas. I do a lot of deer hunting. That I think it's probably 10, 11, 12 days, something like that. Maybe 2 weeks, I'm not sure. I do a lot of deer hunting, maybe scouting here and there, because chances are there's still not going to be water unless something crazy happens in Arkansas. It'll be a miracle if we have a lot of water by then. It's happened one year, 2022, 2023 season, that happened. We had water beginning of second split, and we murdered them all the way through midway through January. But anyways, I won't scout then much either, but around the end of December all through January, I'm scouting. We'll duck hunt in the morning, go take a nap, eat whatever we have to do, and go scout in the evening. I mean, that's what you have to do. That's whenever, like I said earlier, the January grind, that's, the go-getters. Whoever wants it bad enough is whoever's going to get it.
Yeah.
Around Christmas, me and my cousin, Jeffrey, I've said his name 1,000 times, but Jeffrey, me and him, it's been like a tradition. Every day on Christmas, we go scout. That's been our thing, whether we find anything or not. We'll open our presents, he with his family, I'm with mine. Open our presents around lunch, we'll eat, but that evening, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, we're going to get together and go scout. That's been our thing for years. And it's just, I enjoy it, something I look forward to. And scouting is a lot of good memories are made scouting too, whether you're in the boat or you're walking through the woods on a bike, whatever it may be. Going and finding ducks, trying to find a raft, listening is a big part, especially whenever you want success. If you don't scout, you're going in blind. And mid, late December, early January, there's usually a lot of ducks around, but toward the middle end January, if you're not scouting, you usually don't know where ducks are at, unless you have a year like cutoff and you can go anywhere in the WMA and kill ducks.
There. Yeah.
That was I truly think that was a once in a lifetime experience for me. Back in the day, that was different.
That was every day.
Back in the day, my uncle and my grandpa and all of them, I was telling them about our year in cutoff. We were hanging 40s and 50s and 60s 3 weeks in a row. They were like, "Oh, that's cool, whatever." We used to do that before work,
Yeah.
But to us, that's a big deal because it's just not the same. Duck hunting is not the same. Even since whenever I was a kid, duck hunting is not the same. And turn that off. What was I saying? I forgot.
It's not the same. I've heard that 100 times. Even from my days, he's enjoying trying to get back into it with me, and it's a new start for him and a new start for me. It's new to me because I'm still learning how to duck hunt. He's having to learn how to do it differently now because he would, like you said, he'd go out there and he'd go to buy meat and he would shoot his limit in an hour and be done.
Yeah,
and it's not that anymore.
Yeah, scouting. So basically, the grand scheme of things, if you want a late season, you want to kill ducks every day, day in, day out, whether it's limits or not, you got to scout.
Yeah.
You got to. And if you don't scout yourself, have one of your buddies scout. If you don't have one of your buddies scout, I would say nobody, because I try to keep my circle small. And that's how you have a lot more success. And this past year, I kind of put myself in my place. I tried to hunt with 2, 3 different groups, tried to just expand my circle and try to be buddies with everybody. And you just can't nowadays. You can't do that, because being a decent duck hunter, a decent caller, whenever you have a boat, you can run holes, run a boat good. People want you on their team, basically.
Right.
It's kind of just like being a pickup on a travel team. You don't want to be a pickup. You want to be, your ace in each team. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's my goal, anyways. And this past year, I kind of played pickup, and I put myself in a bind. I kind of got caught in between 2 or 3 groups, and then I put Jeffrey on the back burner a few times, and it was the biggest regret of my life. Because there were several times Jeffrey's like, "Let's go hunting." I'm like, "Nah, I'm going with so-and-so." But he literally bent over backwards at 16 years old to teach me how to hunt. Why am I not going with him, every chance I get, whether we kill anything or not?
Right.
Jeffrey's my ride or die for sure. But anyways, scouting. That's basically scouting. If you want it
Not
bad
a lot
enough,
to it, really.
if you want it bad enough, you got to go get it.
But it's not a lot to it early season, but once
I can't throw in my tips and tricks.
Yeah, obviously.
Probably have to kill you after I tell you. But there's a few things I've learned over the years, a few places I go first, a few things I watch, but that's kind of on the DL. It's just one of those things.
That's once that's done recording, we can figure it out.
Maybe.
Maybe we can't even do that. We'll see.
Maybe not.
We'll
I don't
see.
know. Maybe not.
So you talked about success, and I know this has been a major thing for you. I want to touch on it, and kind of something I want to keep at the center of, Legal Light Co. and whatever is to come of it. And that's your faith. You talked about you have the verse on your ult, and you've talked to me about it hundreds of times. It seems like.
Yeah.
Even this short time we've known each other. How big is your faith and your relationship with God when it comes to killing ducks?
So I got to keep it a buck with you. I grew up, in church, know right from wrong. Grew up doing whatever. 14, 15 years old, I started kind of following the crowd. Duck hunting. I wanted to duck hunt with the cool guys, the rich guys, and all the way up until really this past duck season, I've kind of been a great guy 305 days of the season, but those 60, I'm like a completely different person. I really am ashamed of that. I've learned from it, but it's whether like I hunt with this group, my boys down in South Arkansas, and they're great guys. I love them to death. All 7 of us, we get along great. We have different extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean. And like I said, I love them, but that's just not my guys. Like we hang out during duck season, and after February 1st, I've seen them 3 or 4 times, since then. And that's just not really the kind of crew you want to have. I want to have somebody I can hunt with and I can be buddies with and be in my wedding,
right,
from here on out, And that's, like I said, I put myself in my place several times because I've realized that that's not the way to go. You don't want to have buddies that are only there for ducks, only there for one thing. And like I said, I'm not dissing on my guys. I love my boys, but I've realized that if it comes to ducks or, like you said, my faith, that's not even a question. There's no comparison. You know what I mean? Let me kind of go off track here. Baseball, my whole life, was a great platform for Jesus to share the love of Jesus Christ. Well, duck hunting can easily be the same thing. Cade Cherokee, I think he's a great example.
For sure.
Great example to follow. And I kind of want to be more like that. I've realized that I'm pretty decent at duck hunting. Not the best by any means, but I've had my success, and I'm only 20. I have the next 40 years of duck hunting. Maybe making it public, maybe not. Why would I not want to put Jesus on the front and center of that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
As a stamp, because if it weren't for him, none of that would be possible. And there's been several times that I've been in the woods and I'm like, man, just thank you, God. This is just incredible. He allows us to do what we love to do. Like I said, duck hunting is my pride and joy, and none of it would be possible, without God's creating of the ducks.
And it's such a beautiful place to go look. And it's like, people say the woods are my church. I don't think.
I disagree.
I disagree with that completely. I feel like, now if you're you're growing in your faith, you're giving, you're serving, you're praising all out there, that's great. Those are some major staples of our church. It's actually like the slogan is knowing, growing, giving, serving, and praising. And I think all those happen in a church. I don't think all those can happen as much in the duck woods. But at the same time, I feel like that's a great sanctuary. Right. And it's a place for...
And that's what I've come to learn is that I've spent so many times in the woods. I mentioned earlier 152 out of 60 days. 50 of those, I didn't even talk about God, didn't talk to my buddies about God, didn't talk about faith or anything. Why not? You know what I mean? Right. That's a great place to go out there and get away from the real life, everything going on, and just talk about why we're here. That we're only here for one reason, and one reason only is to spread the word.
Exactly.
I'm blessed to be, I say put in my place. I put myself in my place, obviously got convicted, but I realized that I've been in the duck woods, so much of my life, so many times I've been out there with friends, family, other people about business. I've been out there with business people before. There's no point. I don't think there's any point in going out there in God's creation and not appreciating it for what it is. You know what I mean? And that's something I look forward to in the coming years is treating duck hunting like what it needs to be treated like.
Exactly.
A lot of people kind of get folded up and completely bent backwards in the fact of trying to compete and kill ducks. And while all that is great, it's fun. Trust me, none of it would be possible. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it weren't for the Creator. So it's just a really cool thing of how God gives you so many different platforms to, create an image of Him and then share His word and share His love. And
I would say,
you do with it what you please, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I love about it the most. Is duck hunting is one of those things you can go out there and talk and cut up and have a good time and still get things done. Mm-hmm. So why not go out there and
talking about the right things?
Right.
And I would say, while again, I've really got to know you really well over the last, probably 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Knew of you and we talked sometimes, but it wasn't like I just moved down there.
Right.
But I would say never really saw you in the wrong. I guess I would say I never saw you in the wrong, but I would say that the amount that you have spread your faith and your, belief has grown since then. When I was like, it was like if I had an opinion of someone and it's like, this is negative, they're amazing.
Yeah.
This is neutral. It was more of a neutral, and some positive. Now it's like, dude, this guy, he's on fire.
Yeah.
And it's made me want to be around you more. And I'm like, man, like, you felt like a terrible person when we went on a trip to St. Louis. Right? Man, I packed my Bible and I didn't even read it tonight, man. Are you kidding me? And I'm like, dude, we just got back to the hotel room from a ball game and it's like 10 o'clock at night and we're all almost asleep. You know, like that's the type of thing, like that's the motivation I want. And it's kind of made me want to be around you more.
Yeah.
Just because
I appreciate that.
It's a really respectable thing. And it's like knowing you have a platform now. And while obviously you don't, publicize all of your hunting stuff, but you have the people who will listen.
Yeah.
Now you realize this is what I'm going to do with those people who are listening. So I think that's a really respectable thing. Like I said, I'm excited to see it this year.
Yeah.
Maybe we can share a couple trees or something like that. We'll see what the season holds. Who knows what all secrets have to be kept from me. But, man, I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time today.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me. This was pretty cool.
Yes,
First
sir.
ever podcast.
Yeah, mine too, man. We're definitely going to do some more like it. I would love to hear some more calling tips. I've learned they and me learned something today, and I had no idea about turning around backwards when they're going the opposite direction.
That's one of many things.
Man,
it's just it's a science. You got it down to a science.
That's right.
Then you have success.
For sure. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'll let you go. This concludes it. Let me know who you might want to see next. Maybe not be running holes as much as Brayden Jones was, but maybe they'll be close. So, hope you enjoyed.